So it's been a few days since we've had a normal class, but we're going to jump right back into it. So we're solving systems of equations by graphing. A system just means that it is two equations on the same graph. So we're going to start out by graphing. I'm going to look at my first equation, x plus 3. I know that my y-intercept is what I graph first. So I'm going to start out at a positive 3. My slope, my x, since there's not a number, it's going to be 1 over 1. So I'm going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect. Make sure that when you connect, we are graphing all the way across. Today we're looking for where these two lines intersect, so it is super important that this line is straight and that it is in the correct spot. Use a ruler, use the edge of your ID. I don't want to see you just drawing a line and hoping for the best. Then with my other equation, I'm going to start out, and I'm going to switch colors. I'm going to start out at -1. Remember, I always start at my y-intercept, my number that's not attached to x. My slope is a positive 5x, which is the same thing as 5 over 1. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. There's already a dot there, and that's fine. And we are going to connect them. What I'm looking for this box is where those 2 points intersect, or where those 2 lines intersect, which is right here. And I'm going to give myself the coordinates. When I give coordinates, I say my x number, then my y number. My x number for that is 1. My y number for that is 4. On the back of this worksheet, we have all of our answer choices. So 1, 4, 1, 4 is right here. Problem number 1. So when I get to the coloring page, which we may or may not get to today, all of my number 1s are going to get colored green. If I'm solving and I don't get a coordinate that's here, it is a huge heads up that something is wrong. We can also check these in our calculator. I want you primarily doing it by graphing, but we do have that backup option to solve it in the calculator. Let me grab a calculator real quick. And you did this a little bit with the sub. So I can go to y equals, I can type my first equation, x plus 3. I can go down to y2 for my second equation, 5x minus 1. And I can go through my steps, second trace 5. This is something we should be familiar with. Wait for those lines. I can double check. My graph kind of looks like that. The window's a little bit different, but it's pretty darn close. Enter, enter, enter. My x is 1, my y is 4, which is exactly what our graph said. So if I don't get an answer on the back, check y equals. I want to see graph, calculator is just a backup. Let's do one where I have a negative slope. We're going to come right here because this is different. My first equation, y equals 2. Since there's not a slope, I'm just going to go to where my y number equals 2, which is right there. And I'm going to go straight across. Anything on that line, the y coordinate would be 2. There aren't very many of those. Maybe just 1 or 2, x equals or y equals. And then we have y equals negative x plus 1. So I'm going to start out at plus 1. My slope is negative x, which is the same thing as saying negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, and connect them. They're going to cross right here at this point. My x number, then my y number. So I'm looking at -1, 2. And I can check that in my calculator, even with that weird y equals. Y equals 2, y equals negative x plus 1, second trace 5. There's my y equals 2. Enter, enter, enter. Negative 1, comma 2, which is what we have. Let's match them up on the back, and then I'm going to turn you loose. And negative 1, comma 2 is right here. So my number 3s, I would color yellow. Okie doke, we're 5 minutes in. We've done 2 problems. You got 13 more to go. Let's get busy.